So Preston, there's a lot to be said about sweet addiction. Like, what's your thoughts on sugar?
Sugar is a drug, bar none. You can't escape it. Well, you can, but it takes a willingness. It takes a stand, just like with anything in life. A stand to say no and to say yes to oneself, to one's higher self, to be able to move past it. You know, and I think that's why I started or been in the field for over 20 years as a board certified nutritional counselor, meditation coach, fitness coach, massage therapist, and been working with people throughout these past 20 years. And as a result of that, we've been able to start and put superfoods in the grocery stores, acai, green powders, plant-based proteins. We've put organic foods such as rice and beans into the grocery stores. And now we have opened up Juicery, which is a cold pressed juicery, raw living food in a bottle. In every bottle, a person is consuming upwards of 3 pounds of food. There's no water, sugar, or additives. And I know there was a question that we were asking off air is, what is it about it that excites me? And what excites me is when people consume the juice, I can feel their cellular resonance. I can see them light up like bulbs. I can feel the expansion of their soul and their being. I can feel palpably and notice and observe the difference that it makes in not only their life, but the life of their workplace and the life of their partner and the life of their children. And then you may say it's just a juice, but it's not just a juice. And one of the greatest things about it is that here in Bermuda, we get to have raw juice, meaning it's not pasteurized. That means it is alive. And that, as a result of, those are things you can't necessarily quantify on the back of a nutritional label. You could get your B vitamins and your A vitamins and your minerals, but the life force is something, that auric field is something else. And that is a key ingredient to a person making the transition to getting off of sugar.
Right.
If life begets life. So that's why you may see people say, well, you know, those hardcore foodies may say we should eat raw food, but it's like, you know, for regular people, like, I'm not interested in, you know, having like kale for breakfast, you know, like romance. Like, what's fun about that? Even though having a raw food lifestyle is fun, and I was a raw foodist for over a year. I've done that. I was a vegan for a long time. I was a vegetarian for a long time. I've done all these different things. I've dry fast, you know, intermittent fasting. That's one of my favorites. I mean, I'm intermittent fasting now, you know, so I typically do that for months on end. So it's like it all works in a way to, it's not, I don't think it's just one way, but I think it all works in a way to your platform question of sugar. All these things help to break away from the addiction of sugar.
Yeah, because sugar's a real addiction.
It is. It is as addictive, and I'm not making this up. People could do research. It is as addictive as heroin and cocaine. And however, we have created a whole society around it. Halloween, it's in over 80% of the foods in the grocery stores. They give them out as treats, and we'll hear, oh, have this, and because you've been a good person. You know, it's like, what are we really doing? But it's so ingrained. You don't really want to, I don't want to make people wrong for doing what they're doing. You know, it's important. No one's wrong for doing what they're doing, but I think at this point, there should be a conscious awareness that we should begin to step away from it for those who choose and desire to step away from it. Not everybody's going to want to, and that's fine. Everybody's living their life, and allow people to live the life the way they need to live their life if they are in a place to do that. But for those, again, who are willing to up-level, that this is going to be a piece that has to be addressed.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of pieces, but this is a crucial piece that has to be addressed, because when this is unlocked, a lot of other things are unlocked.
Yeah, it's interesting. And by the way, you know, we're talking to Preston Ephraim.
Yes.
Am I correct? I guess owner-founder.
Yeah, owner-founder of Juicery.
Okay.
Of Mr. Organic, which is an organic superfood company. Also co-founder of the Urban Garden Project, which is a nonprofit. registered nonprofit, charity, and board certified nutritional and lifestyle counselor for over 15 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, give thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Preston's going to be present at the Living Green Expo, which is taking place on Sunday, January 28th in the Shed in the Royal Naval Dockyard. And we're really looking forward to that event because it's bringing together all these different elements around natural living, sustainable living, you know what I mean? And Preston just naturally fits within that mold with all the things that you've been dealing with. And kind of like you going down your resume just reminds me of all the activities that we're doing at the expo, because we start off the day with more physical activities, mind, body activities, the 5K walk and run, the cycle, the bike ride from Hamilton to Dockyard. You know, we got a yoga practice going on, a Qigong practice going on, you know. Then after that, people can go over into the vegan food court and get the nice, fresh, cold-pressed juices and smoothies and, you know, nice, healthy, plant-based meals that are going to be on offer for the whole day. And then they can come into the vendor village and speak to people like yourself who are going to give them insights in how they can improve their lifestyle and then live more naturally and more sustainably and be healthier, you know, for themselves and their families and things of that nature. So we're really looking forward to it.
So
you know?
be it.
Yeah. So what really inspired you to take this path?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that question. In high school, when I graduated from high school, I was ranked #1 on the East Coast in hurdles. And I was ranked number 20th in the United States.
Okay.
And I wanted to go to the Olympics. And I was on that path to actually do that. However, and when you're at that level I made up at that time, when you're at that level of competitiveness, everybody's good. Everybody's good. And it's 100th of a second that may matter. Your blocks, it's your food, it's these, how much sleep are you getting? It's all those things that matter. You always have that one-off that's like that Michael Jordan or that Allen Iverson, you know, that's just that person is just shining, you know, no matter what they, you know. But even those individuals put in a lot of work. The Kobe Bryants, they put in the work.
Right,
they do.
Yeah.
So that had me thinking, how am I putting in my work? Or am I just getting up and riding off a natural talent? You know, and so I remember one day I was thinking I was eating, because I grew up in a city and I grew up eating hamburgers and French fries. That's what we did. You know, there wasn't any kale around. There weren't any farmers. Like we were getting on the subway. It was a Wendy's down the street. Like you just really talk about it.
Right.
You know,
right.
And I remember having a burger because, you know, my trainer said that this is what you do. You got to eat meat to get protein, and you got to have 6 meals a day or 8 meals a day. You know, I've gone through that, and have to take my supplements. And I just remember not feeling good. I just didn't feel good. So I was going to my acupuncturist, and we always had a really great conversation, me and the front desk attendant. And she said, hey, I just applied to this nutritional school. And I'm like, sign me up. Tell me what it is. I'm going. She gave me the information because I had already been thinking in my mind, I need to up-level my state of being. I need to figure out and find out and discover what foods work right for myself, what living circumstances work well for myself. And I knew that every person had their own path. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It doesn't work like that. Everybody is uniquely them, and they have to discover what works for them. And I had a insight or revelation of that. So I went to nutritional school. I did that for 2 years in New York. And from there, I just kept going. I did corporate coaching, work with moms with 5 children all the way up to CEOs of corporations. And I mean, it has just been a fabulous journey, and we're still going. And so it's interesting because that segue of fitness led me to this. And it wasn't at the end, it wasn't even about the Olympics, but that idea of the Olympics carried me through to something that was even greater.
Right. Because you were dealing with optimal
Correct.
performance.
Optimal performance. So the optimal performance in my mind created optimal performance in my life. You know, so it's like holding the intention and then allowing that intention to manifest without the hows, because the hows will trip us up. You know, just hold that feeling, hold that intention, and then we'll walk right into it. So that's that optimal way of living, thinking, and being is what is occurring.
Right.
You know, and it's not that, you know, I want to be clear, it's not to be weird. I see a lot of people just weird. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you got to eat this and eat that. And it's like, look, relax here. Just relax. Should you have a banana? Should you have an apple? Watermelons are good. Watermelons aren't good. It's like, it's just quinoa's bad. Now coconut's good. And coconut's like, listen, just stop. Just stop. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous nowadays with all the information. And just go into your heart, eat some whole foods, and laugh and have a good time in your life. Start there. You know, keep it really simple.
Right.
You know, have you hugged your loved one and just really be with them? Are you meeting people and saying how you doing and then walking right past them, or is it really an intimate, you know, look and saying how are you? And at the same time asking myself the same question, how am I? You know, witnessing each other. That is what's important. That's a good place to start.
Right.
And what I'm speaking about now is how we use Juicery as a platform for self-realization, as a platform for something that's deeper. Nutrition as a platform for self-realization, for people to actually be transformed in their life. I use food as a platform for transformation, because ultimately, if someone isn't changing their mind and their thoughts, they can forget about it. And that's why you have all these 100-day challenges. That's why you have all these people who are interested in doing whatever it is that they're doing to lose their weight. They regain it 5 minutes after they start the program or finish the program, because they didn't make a change to their mind. They didn't make a change to their life. They just looked at something physical and wanted to change the physical, but it doesn't start at the physical. The physical is the effect.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, very interesting. So, I mean, that's something that most people struggle with.
Yes.
You know, like how to make the adjustment. And listening to you talk, what you're describing is that we tend to focus more externally.
Yes.
Right? And have less of a connection with what's going on inside.
Yes.
And inside is the real driver.
Correct.
Your thoughts, you know, your emotions. You see what I'm saying? You know, what's going on mentally,
Yes.
energetically with you, you know, because from my experience, those can be the determining factors in terms of, like, you know, how we're able to move and how successful we are in whatever we're pursuing. You know, and a lot of times, like, we're looking at the physical and saying, well, I'm doing exercise, I'm changing my diet and all of that, but, like, nothing's happening.
That's right.
You know,
That's
I remember you gave a talk one time at the Bermuda Union of Teachers. And I remember you had everybody silent in the beginning because you said, like, so what if I say a diet and exercise weren't the two most important factors, like, in your health?
Yeah.
Everyone was okay, that's thought provoking.
Yes.
You know, but it was a brilliant presentation because it brought people inward. You know, which is great. And I'm sure we could talk all day about that. But look, let's go more into your juices.
Sure.
Right? Because my understanding is that's what you're going to have on offer.
Correct.
At the expo. You know, so let people know, like, what they can expect when they come to the expo from Juicery.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So we carry actually over 30 blends. I'm the chief formulator of all the blends that we carry at Juicery. During the Living Expo, we'll have, I'm still deciding, we'll probably have between 7 and 9 blends. Okay. Again, as I mentioned before, each juice contains upwards of 3 pounds of produce. It takes that much produce for us to actually fill a bottle. There's no water, sugar, or additives in any of the juices. They are completely raw living. They are alive. So people are drinking the life force. They're getting all the vitamins and minerals that one would require, or at least a start to what one would require in their day. We will carry a few greens. We'll have a few fruits. We'll have an infused tea. And I also I think this is a good time for people to start a juice fast. Oh my gosh, I love juice fast. So in a juice fast, a person is drinking 6 16-ounce juices per day. Breakfast, AM snack, lunch, PM snack, dinner, then post-dinner. They're all numbered from 1 through 6, consuming 12 to 15 pounds of food a day. So can you imagine the intestinal tract is not being activated, the gut isn't being activated. So all of that nutritional density is going into the blood, into the cells at a cellular level and resonating and kicking out all of that toxicity. So the person, again, you just see them, they start, for some people, they do have, or they may experience withdrawals from processed foods, processed sugars, etc. But for those who, even though those who do, on the other side of that, they light up. More energy. It's like, Preston, I'm sleeping better than I've ever slept before. I'm firing at night. They're telling me they're waking up at night, not being able to go to sleep. I said, that's perfect. No, that's perfect. That is the time typically when information is coming through to guide you in your day. So if you're up at 4 a.m, 3 a.m, take out a pad and a piece of paper and start journaling. Don't get upset because you can't go to sleep. Take note, because something wants to speak to you. Some information wants to come through. So you want to listen to this. This is your divine guidance. But no, juice fasting is definitely an awesome way, an awesome thing to incorporate into one's life. And I always think about a baby. I have 3 children, and my eldest is turning 17. Oh, Lord. My eldest is turning 17, and my daughter just turned 6, and my youngest. And I was thinking about when they were babies, and of course they had mom's milk. And I was just thinking about how joy-filled and joyful they were, and they still are today, but they just running around and bopping and, moving and getting all fat. And I was just thinking about, they didn't have any solid food. So what makes us different as adults? We just require the nutritional density in whatever capacity we need to get it in. Same as a baby. If we're getting the quality of nutrition and life force, sun and fun and all that other solid food, you don't really require. And that's why I love intermittent fasting. It's too much. People are eating too much food. It's way too much. It's way too much. 1 to 2 meals a day, properly dialed in, is more than enough. But who am I? You know what I mean? Really, because everybody has their own paths. Like, we'll do what you do until it works or it doesn't work. Yeah. Some people that works very well for. Some people are overeating, but you don't know until you begin to shift and pivot, right, and try something different.
Well, I think one of the goals of having the expo is to expose people to alternatives. You know what I mean? Right? Not to say that what is on offer is the right path for everyone.
Correct. Yeah.
But for people who are looking for additional options, then, at the expo, you'll be able to find them. Actually, you can, bring your notepad to the expo.
Yeah, Lord. Hey, look, don't, sorry. Listen, we had this oh my gosh, this is great. This is great. We've had to have a whole nother tent for this. At the vegan festival, right? The Bermuda Vegan Festival, that was. I mean, it was well attended, and of course, you had individuals who did want to talk about their health. And I'm like, look, we got a queue, honey. Look, we got a queue. That's running back. I would love to speak to you, please. Here's the card. We could talk about this a little later.
Right. Yeah, for real. Yeah, you need a separate operation for that.
I know you're moving through some health concerns, but look, I can't, this is a more appropriate time
Yeah,
for us to have this conversation.
Yeah, for real.
I know, I love Bermuda because we wear our heart right in our chest. It's like right there. They come into the table like, look, I need to make some changes. I love it when Bermudians are ready. It's like, look, let's do it. They're dialed in like that.
Yeah.
So I do love that. I do love that piece that we bring.
So, I mean, on that note, what's been your experience, being in the industry and, with the juicing? Have you, in real time seen, the goals you had in mind achieved?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been in Bermuda for 20 years now. And when I first arrived, it was like walking through sludge. I'm serious. Because I grew up in a whole nother context of health. Like, even though I ate burgers, I still was able to get access to other things. And when I moved to Bermuda, it's like, where is it? It's not here. The only place you could get organic was in Marketplace. At that time, they had one aisle, and that aisle stayed the same over the past 20 years. But it's still there. But even since, so many options have come out. So many, we still have some opening space to go, some places to go. However, so much has occurred. And to your question about what have I seen, the conversation is different. People are different. People are asking, which is why we've seen a change in the environment, because that happens from the people. It is. I see the light bulbs. I see people desiring more. They're saying, no, this isn't the way, and I want to see something different. Therefore, a difference occurs. Right.
So you have to lead into it.
Correct.
And I guess the good thing is now there's a lot of options. What you offer fits within a few areas that we're promoting at the expo. Obviously there is, the vegan food or natural foods, but you also fit into the whole holistic health space.
Yes.
And you have some training in that background. And what's great is that there are so many options now available in Bermuda. There are so many resources available to be able to assist people.
Correct.
These ways and give guidance. And that's one of the main reasons we're having the expo, because, at the moment it appears that those people are only serving a very small segment of the community.
Yes.
And we're trying to create an opportunity for, the broader community to become more aware of what's available.
That's right. That's a beautiful
I'm sure there'll
thing.
be lots of people that even watch this interview and say like, so where's these living juices? So how can people get their hands on these? Outside of coming to the expo, how can people get their hands on these?
We are in 13 locations throughout the island.
Okay.
And right now we're currently working on opening a location that is more accessible in the central area.
Okay.
Leave it at that. And then we are also have our juices out of the Bermuda Aquarium Cafe, Bam's Bistro and Juicery. That's where you can also pick up on Juicery juices. People can also contact us directly. We're on WhatsApp at 441-703-3663. That's 441-703-3663. Or they can email us at info@O as in Oscar, M as in Mary, juicery.net. So info@omjuicery.net if they would like to engage in a juice fast or order juices. Also, being a cold press juicery here in Bermuda, this is what I love. This is what I absolutely love. I can call the farmer. Actually, we're doing this today. We do it pretty much daily. I call the farmer and say, look, I want X amount of units of, let's say, kale or collards or parsley. They cut that day, and we press the juice that day. Nowhere else really can you, I'm not going to say anywhere else, but very rarely, even in the States, do you have that accessibility of the juicery to the farmer. I'm driving 10 minutes, if that, to go get my produce cut, and it's going to be pressed that day. You see what I mean? The person is getting the juice as fresh as possible. As fresh as possible, not from greens that went across the ocean or, took 2 or 3 weeks to get here. They're getting it from the farmers. That is amazing. It's amazing. I mean, because I just think about it. Because I travel and I go to all these. I love drinking raw juice. I love eating living foods and vegan food. I mean, I make it a point to go check out who has what.
Right.
I do. I make it a point, and I appreciate everybody in this sector who was just ushering this movement forward of health, of health, of health of the mind, of health of the heart, of health of the physical body, and whatever expression that the person is showing up as. But I love just being a part of this movement. It is, and it's unstoppable.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's been been going up for a while, but now it's like it's up there now, you know?
Yeah. So I guess just in closing, you know, what advice would you have for the general public in Bermuda based on, you know, I guess your expertise and experience and your experience on the island?
Sure. So I think the first thing is just start. Start somewhere. People don't get caught up on the hows ever. The hows are going to trip someone up faster than anything else. If you want to just start, take the first step into something. Go for a walk, a gratitude walk without your cell phone. Say, you know, call someone you haven't spoken to in a long time and say, I love you. Even, you know, feel it. Feel it for yourself first, like, or cook a meal that you thought was hard. Just start somewhere. Regarding the juice, I would, again, pick up a raw juice. And then with that, a person's probably drinking more greens in that one juice than they would in 2 to 3 days. Because they're drinking, depending on the blend, they could be drinking 2 pounds of greens. You know, it's 3 pounds of produce, but it may be a lot more greens in that juice depending on the ratio, you know. So, but I would just say pick up a juice and start with that. You know, and again, allow the momentum of one's life to carry you. You know, people will see it. Be scientific. Be scientific about my life. Be scientific about your life. Don't just kind of go through the motions. You know, working home. Forget working home. I hear that so often. And what? How many people are doing working home? Is that living? Is that living? Working home. And if it is living, so be it. I'm just saying, I think it's more to it than just working home. Mm-hmm. I think each and every one of the 7 billion and 8 billion expressions of divinity were here or are here to really do something great, whether we are aware of it or not. Mm-hmm. So let's get plugged in and let's start really creating something magnificent in our life and in our lives.
Mm. Give thanks.
Yes.
So listen, everyone, come out to the Living Green Expo Sunday, January 28th in the Royal Naval Dockyard. Go straight to Juicery. Get your juice first, you know what I mean? Right? Get your body reinvigorated and then walk around and see all the other vendors that will be on display. Thank you very much, Preston. It's been a very positive conversation.
Come on.
Yeah, hopefully the audience has really enjoyed it as much as I have, and we look forward to seeing you at the expo.
Yeah, look forward to being there, and thank you for creating this.
All right. Yeah, give thanks.
All right.
All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace and love.